In old times, Man City wasn't the best team in Manchester. They were always in the shadow of their big rivals, Manchester United, as that used to be their usual spot. But in 2007, their luck changed when a rich royal family member from Abu Dhabi bought the club. But can you guess the reasons was for him to buy this football club?
They have human rights challenges, and maybe by investing in sport, you can get people to sort of see you differently. They're trying to diversify their economy away from oil and gas. They're trying to give something for their people to feel proud about. But I think all of those things have played a part.
But all these things were reliant on Man City to start winning. So without wasting the time, Mansour started to buy what it needed most: new players. City spent staggering $43 million to sign Robinho, who almost signed for Manchester United. But guess what? They still ended up in 10th place that season, even after splashing a crazy €200 million on players. The next year, they spent even more and climbed to 5th place. Progress. Then, with even more spending, they reached 3rd and finally won England's domestic trophy. And finally in 2012, City won the title in an iconic fashion.
Aguero! Staggering! Just staggering! He's won the league!
In just 4 years and a record-breaking shopping spree, they went from zero to hero.
It was really sort of like this sort of compounding effect. It was 200 million, 300 million, 300 million. Chelsea had done something very similar, but it was like, this is a transformation within 3 windows, so within 18 months.
But for this football club to boost Abu Dhabi's global image and influence, winning had to become a habit. So the owner of Man City kept opening his wallet. His club broke records to sign the biggest stars and outspent everyone else to get them. No one could compete with his deep pockets. In 2021, City set a record assembling a first-team squad to cost more than £1 billion, and it paid off big time. They won 7 Premier League titles, multiple league trophies, and UEFA Champions League.
And they've done it! They've done it! Manchester City have done it! Champions of Europe finally! History made in Istanbul!
Finally, the mission about turning the mediocre club into the world's best was successful for him. But many had problems whether he did it legally.
So we've always had a sort of tolerance for big clubs being big and spending more than the others. I think the thing that people were perhaps a little bit suspicious by was we were just entering this era of financial fair play.
So, UEFA introduced financial fair play in the year of 2010 with the rule that a football club cannot spend more money than it earns. Many club owners went bankrupt trying to win, while some wealthy owners never faced bankruptcy, especially those who ruled entire countries. Man City spent a lot of money on players, but a boost in income in 2013 helped them stay within the rules. But this sudden boost in income is what placed Man City in a suspicious position. How Man City all of a sudden succeeded to generate so much money. So, Man City generally had 3 sources of revenues: tickets, broadcasting, and sponsorships. Among these 3, there was an abnormal rise of revenue that came from sponsorships. Some companies began paying City a lot more to display their logos on shirts, signs, and the stadium, which increased the revenue of Man City. But the most interesting here is that these companies had one thing in common.
You don't have to be a forensic accountant to see, oh right, so Sheikh Mansour and his family are on the board of that and that and that, and Mubadala, which is UAE's big sovereign wealth fund, oh, they invest in that, oh, how interesting. So Etihad Airlines, right, oh, where are they based? Abu Dhabi. That is where the suspicion starts immediately. One, you're spending loads of money, and you're justifying it in this new financial fair play era by these amazing sponsorship deals that, come on.
In 2014, the football authorities in Europe looked into these sponsorship deals and found they broke the rules, but the fine was only £49 million. The suspicion continued until this guy found out some hard evidence.
I'm a whistleblower. I have to expose and give to journalists, credible journalists, the real deal.
In 2015, this hacker shared stolen documents and emails with journalists like Christoph.
My name is Christoph Winterbach, worked on the Football League's project, Der Spiegel.
In 2018, he and his team released articles showing emails from Man City employees admitting the club was close to breaking FFP rules.
They were very open about that in their internal emails, and they were desperate to find a scheme to make it seem like they were passing those regulations.
This was the exact scenario. The club asked sponsors to pay higher prices but only made them pay part of it. The rest was covered by Sheikh Mansour's fund, so when the companies paid, The club could count it as income, giving it more room to spend on players.
So they set up vehicles for hidden cash injections from Abu Dhabi into the club. And sometimes even it's the same people actually making decisions in the club and in the company who's paying the club.
Christoph has uncovered further evidence.
Yeah, hold on, I've got a document here. They said things like, as we discussed, the annual obligation of this company, of this state-owned sponsor, is £3 million. So the remaining 12 million will come from alternative sources provided by His Highness. They had to sometimes reassure themselves. They were like, they should go through the companies to us, to the club. Yeah, like ideally we should do it that way.
These leaked emails reveal the city's finance boss asking to change sponsorship deals, with a club director saying, "We can do whatever we want."
Again, that is not a normal behavior.
If true, this plan lets City spend more than rivals, buy top players, and win trophies.
They have played beautiful football, but there's always an asterisk to those successes because it would have taken years and maybe decades for Manchester City to reach the same level by behaving like a normal club.
They've been very clever. This really would be a conspiracy to cheat over a decade when they've been enormously successful. No one should dispute that. But the debate is, did they cheat at the beginning?
City says it did nothing wrong. In 2020, UEFA banned them for 2 years using emails as proof. But City fought back, saying the emails weren't enough and got a sponsor's boss to say it never happened. The court agreed and lifted the ban. In 2023, the Premier League charged City with over 130 rule breaks, like hiding sponsorship facts and blocking investigations. Manchester City and the Premier League are presenting their cases to 3 judges in private. These judges may find City guilty of blocking investigations and issue a fine.
It comes at a time when, of course, the Premier League is the most successful domestic soccer competition. Clubs like Manchester City have helped tell that story. We are absolutely in can of worms territory.
The big question is whether they'll rule City guilty of the scheme and decide the right punishment. The smallest punishment could be taking points away, like 2 other clubs got for breaking FFP rules. But City is accused of much worse, making people wonder if they'll be kicked out of the Premier League. Teams they beat might sue for money. But if the punishment is too soft, other rich clubs might start breaking the rules too.